Welcome back to In Business. Our next guest says it's time to go out and buy cable stocks. Rich Greenfield is the managing director at BTIG. He's been named a big top stock picker by the Wall Street Journal and the Financial Times. I'm glad to have him here with us.
Thanks for having me.
So I thought the pipes were going to be turned off. Everyone's going to the internet. Is the death of cable greatly exaggerated?
Well, I think it's just really easy to look at the weak results you've seen in terms of subscriber growth at the cable and satellite companies overall over the course of the last several months and go, oh my God, that's the answer. Everyone's just using Netflix. Everyone's just watching Hulu. But investors have to remember, they're not the average person. The average American household watches 8 hours of TV a day, and they can't get what they watch on TV using Netflix or Hulu. There is no live sports. There is no HBO online if you don't take a cable or satellite package. It's very hard to replicate what you have in terms of a TV subscription today.
Now, you talk to people like, Brad Adgate, who at Horizon, who talks about the live event really being key to viewership right now. If you've got a live call-in show or you've got a football event, that's what draws viewers even more so than programs.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, when you look at something like American Idol, and yes, ratings are down, but think about an American Idol, a Biggest Loser, or Dancing with the Stars, which is breaking new highs. Think about those shows, and think about showing up at work the next morning, you having no idea who won because you can't watch it until later that evening when it shows up on Hulu. Or think about a show, a top Food Network show, like the next Food Network chef. You can't watch that at all because that isn't online at all. It doesn't show up on Hulu.
The peer pressure play here, basically.
Look, I think water cooler conversation.
Yeah.
People like talking about what's on television, just like you like talking about how the Giants did last night on Sunday Night Football. The same thing with what happened with a big reality show the next morning. It's very hard to not want to talk about those things and say, oh, you know what? I'll wait. I'll watch the premiere of Boardwalk Empire. I'll wait a year till it comes out on DVD. That's, I think, a very challenging thing for the average consumer. Again, if you're financial hardship, if you have to move back in, with your family, I think when you look at the state of the economy today, you may be doing it out of no choice and disconnecting your cable. But that's different than simply doing it to use broadband.
And you tried to quantify that cord cutting, basically saying, I can't afford this, I'm turning off the TV, or that's simply not how I'm consuming. And in this survey, you found actual cord cutting risk is below 5%.
Yeah, we looked at our survey respondents said that today it was 8%, but that was for a group of people that use the internet, don't watch as much television. We extrapolated that to the larger population. We think it's well under 5%. And I think when I talk to investors about cable stocks right now, whether it's Cablevision or Time Warner Cable, the fear of cord cutting is dominating conversation. That's all anyone want to talk about right now is what is Netflix, what is Hulu going to do to my investments in these stocks? Should I be looking at them? We think the risk is way overblown, and we'd be buying Cablevision and Time Warner Cable right now.
But you're not going so far as to say this isn't where the trend is. You're saying the trend is there, but the pickup isn't as swift as what you're seeing. I mean, how do you play this?
Well, there's always people who don't want to subscribe to television, who want to save money, or who, you can get most programming, the night Weeds comes out, Monday night is Weeds night on Showtime. Within 12 hours, you can find it illegally online. There's ways of getting programming if you don't want to pay for it.
If you don't mind Japanese subtitles.
Look, there's great ways to find stuff if you know how to find it.
Right.
There's ways you can do it. But for the average American who likes to watch, the average person themselves watches 5 hours of TV a night. It's a passive experience. They like to sit on their couch. They like to watch the Today Show. They like to watch, the news. Whatever they like to watch, the value of a cable subscription still is a wonderful value for the average American household. And I think that's what's getting lost. And so the way to play this right now is not to say it doesn't exist. It certainly exists. It's certainly going to grow. There's obviously a risk of media companies like NBC and others put too much content available easily a la carte online. But to the extent that most content isn't easily accessible, I mean, you can't just watch football online without paying for TV. As long as they are smart about controlling rights, the average consumer is still going to have to use cable and satellite. That's the type of investment you should be making right now. Take advantage of overblown fears and look at the cable group.
All right. Thank you for, I guess, fact checking us here, reality checking us. Thank you very much for coming in, Rich.